Welcome to Anandi, Conversations about Wisdom. In today's episode, we have Devidatta Sukhtankar, who is an international yoga trainer and another yogi. He is also a sports enthusiast. He has a vision of getting sound in each family for a better future of the kids. So let's hear from him how he wants to take that vision ahead. Welcome, Devidatta. Today, let's understand your perspective, your vision with the sound. So, my first question to you would be: you have recently started working on with sounds on kids. What has been your idea behind this?
So I always feel कि sounds is a very simple way of introducing meditation to kids. We as a parent, everybody wants kids to start meditating at the age of 6, 7, 8, which is generally not possible.
Correct.
You can't expect a kid of 6, 7, 8 years to just go and sit and okay, now focus on the breath. Okay, as an adult, we find it so difficult to do
Agreed.
it. Then how can, and at the age of 6, 7, 8, the kids have, it's natural to be more, outgoing and jumping, and you can't expect them to sit. But I feel sounds is a very simple and easy way to introduce them to meditation. And once they know there is something like that, in future, whenever they feel they need meditation as a tool in their life, they will come back to it because they have that experience somewhere in their childhood. Okay, this I have done, let me go back. And some kids, of course, they can take it as a regular thing also from this age.
So, when you introduce sound to kids, is there any particular way that you do it, or is it the same for the adult as well as the child?
No, so for kid it will be different. So if for the kid, when I'm introducing them to this form as a meditation, I want them to use the instrument. Okay, I want them to play and listen to the sound. That makes it interesting. Otherwise, it will be the same thing like doing a yoga class where I'm telling them, okay, now sit and listen to your breath or feel the breath. And then I'm doing, okay, now listen to the sound, and I'm just playing. It won't interest them. But the curiosity develops when they are also playing,
Actively participating.
That makes them in something. Okay, now it makes them feel at home.
Yes. Now, in the sessions that you are taking over the period of time, is there any specific format that you have seen with the kids that these type of kids get, this is a kind of a reaction kids give, or it's just the mixed reaction as per their age and their state of mind?
So, I feel in general sounds work as a very relaxing, what I can say is it gives you a relaxing effect, and the same happens with the kids. I'll tell you a recent experience. I was invited to a school to do a session. There was about 40-50 kids in the standard, I think 5th or 6th standard. And before the session started, the teacher, like the normal teacher's dialogue, pin drop silence, and no one was listening. And so it was a big hall, 50 kids sitting, and then they gave me the mic, and I started the session, started playing. The kids were lying down. And after the sound bath, when I asked them to come back and sit, of course, there will be few kids who are
Kids being kids.
Yeah. But the teacher said, when we say pin drop silence, we never know what it is. And now she knows what is a pin drop silence, because for at least for 4 to 5 minutes, there was just silence. Most of the kids, I would say 90-95% kids were not talking. They were just sitting in silence.
Wow.
So that's the effect on kids.
And in generally, I mean, in that group of 40, there would be different people coming with the kids coming with a different experience. They may have a different state of mind, energy level differs, but with the sound, all of them, or rather we say 90% or of 95% kids felt the same effect.
The best part is, so recently over here in Idhya also I did a session with parents and kids, where normally I tell the parents to play for the kids, and the kids plays the tools or the sound instruments for the parents. So this time the parent was playing for the kid, and she said initially I could see my child restless. His fingers were moving, the toes were moving, and she was saying, "Ki, my child is generally like that." But after about 3 to 4 minutes of playing, she said that the kid got settled down and he was still. And she has never seen her kid being so still unless he's sleeping or he loves doing rifle shooting. So when he's doing the rifle shooting or watching TV. So only when these three things are happening, he's still. Otherwise, while studying or while eating, there is constant movement of restlessness in the fingers or the toes or the legs.
Wow.
So that's the effect of sound. So in general, I would say the sounds will always helps you to get relaxed. Of course, the sounds will trigger a lot of other things also. People feel restless in sounds session. People feel there is emotions coming up and all these things happen. But in general, it always helps you to get centered, get relaxed and calm.
Now, your experience just wants me to, ask you this another question. Why did you choose to have a session with the parent and a child? Like, why is it designed in this particular design?
See, when I'm doing, earlier I had taken few sessions for just kids. But when I'm just taking a session for kids, the parent doesn't know what is happening over here.
Correct.
Okay. The example that I give about the mother and son, the mother literally saw that effect.
Correct.
Okay, and that should click something in her. Okay, there is this tool available which she can use for not only herself but for her family members and introduce her kid to this. So in future, whenever the kid requires, not forget future. Being kid also there is stress in their life. You can't deny
100%.
that.
100%.
Okay, not just the adults have stress, but kids also have
In
their own
fact,
stress.
today the stress has increased compared to what we used to be stressful in our childhood. I feel it's just increased, yes.
So this could be a simple tool which every family has. Earlier we used to say कि okay, every family में एक कोई तो healer होना चाहिए.
Yes.
Okay, and that will change the
The
world.
whole.
So why not have a sound? Maybe we could do sound. Calling sound healer is a big term, but at least knowing sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
For your own self.
Yeah. So if a mother or a father knows this tool and practices for himself or herself,
Yes.
okay, the kids will automatically get attracted to it. Not that every time you have to go and okay, now I will give a session to you. Not needed. I know you also do sounds, and you were sharing this beautiful thing that when you are sleeping in the night, you are doing it for yourself, and it's automatically
My daughter receives it.
received by your daughter or your husband.
Agreed.
So it is working like that also.
Yeah, one person chooses something differently in the house and it affects the whole house.
Yes.
And that's, yes. So that is, and how are the session taken? Like, what happens in the session? If somebody new to it, they will have a lot of questions because मैं 4 साल की बच्ची को या 5-year-old child, what will she understand? What do I expect in the sessions? Is there, or is the format that you choose as per the age group?
So there is a general format which I have in my mind, but it keeps on changing as per the participants and the way they are participating in that session and the way they are talking and explaining few things. Because you might think, okay, yes, 6-7 years kids, what will they understand? But they come out with some explanations and some sharing that, okay, they know all these things, so then I can share more things to them, introduce more things to them. They of course know how sound works on them. First, I try to explain them how sounds and emotions are. Rather me explaining, they themselves know it. They can explain it much better. So that is one thing. Second thing is then I introduce them to bowls, okay, which is one of the simplest way to introduce anyone to sounds. I know bowls are just a tool in the full sound healing, what I can say, world, yeah, okay, or so that is not the ultimate aim, but that is an important part of sound healing. So I introduce them to this tool and I ask them to play. I ask the parents to play, so they play, and I ask them to concentrate on the sound and only play when the sound stop. So it's very easy for them. Okay, now I'm striking. How is the sound till what time the sound is there? Okay, then I have to again strike. Okay, so then once the parent is striking, I'm listening to the sound of my mother playing. Once that sound stops, then I will play. So the whole awareness is there.
Yes. And
Okay.
this will also help in building the concentration
Yes,
and the
of
focus in the long run.
yes, yes, yes.
Like relaxation is a one part, but the way the beautifully the practice that you mentioned will also help them in, because today the problem is the focus, because of so much digital media and access to it, the focus has reduced. I mean, to
Yes.
everyone, why kids, even for us the focus has reduced.
Yes, yes.
So there is no better way to tell them ki, just and hearing, right? So, have you seen any difference in your own child with, you have a son, have you seen a difference in him?
So I introduced sound to my son home, and I started telling him to do sessions for me.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. And so I told him the basic technique, how generally a sound bath is done, and few steps. And the more he started playing, he started enjoying it. Okay, I told him, okay, now you have to play this bowl, then this bowl, and this bowl. But only thing is, you should only play bowl number 2 when the sound of bowl number 1 is slightly reduced. You can't just keep on playing. So when he plays, he's there, he's grounded, he's aware of the sounds. And now, whenever, if my parents are not well or something like that, if someone in the family needs the sound bath, he's there to help them.
And
And
he's what?
he's 10 years. And
So,
the thing is, even when I'm doing a parent kid session also, when the kid does a session for the parent realizes ki how much relaxing it is, even when the kid is playing. Okay, of course, even as a sound healer, if I'm calling myself a sound healer, I'm not 100% perfect. Similarly, the kid won't be. But even in those strikes, okay, थोड़ा उधर उधर strike हो रहा है, even in that, the parent goes into very deep level of relaxation, and that's where the parent realizes कि oh, this tool is such a wonderful tool to have, not only to relax. If the kid is playing, for the parent can also do a self healing
yes.
session, and that's where I want them to know कि okay, there is something available. Okay, and you can, there are so many beautiful good teachers in Mumbai, in the world. You can go and approach them and just learn it for themselves.
self healing.
Self healing, yeah. So most of the health issues that the parents are going through, adults are going through, are related to stress, nothing else.
100%. Stress creates the inflammation, and that's the main cause for the lifestyle diseases also today.
Yeah. So if you have a tool which helps you to reduce the stress and take you into a very deep state of relaxation, then why not to use it? Okay, if the kid can give you, and remember, when the kid is giving you, you are getting relaxed, so you are getting benefited. But the kid is also getting benefited because the kid's awareness is improving, his concentration is improving.
Absolutely.
It is a play for him. Okay, but in that playful way, both are getting benefited.
Absolutely. And there is a, like you so beautifully said, it's where they are actively involved, so they know what to do, instead of just saying ki, oh, I am just pretending to be still, which they can't pretend when the eyes are closed. Like, they feel that they are pretending to be still, but and here when you see the difference, it's actually working on them.
Yes.
So that's,
yeah, as an adult we can pretend to be still, at least physically,
yes.
mentally. But as a kid, it's not easy to pretend to be still. And when you do the sound sessions, you see the stillness. It's a beautiful thing to see when the kids are so still. They're not sleeping, but they don't want to talk at that time. It's a beautiful thing to see.
There are very few people who have chosen to work with the kids, and you have been one of them, with the coming up with that vision of, I want to get the sound to the household. Like you said, ki, once I get it to one person in the house, it automatically changes the vibrations in the house itself. What inspired you to do this?
Uh, So I always feel ki one thing is there is a calling.
Yes, 100%.
So there's no inspiration as such. Last year when so I've been doing sounds for about 8 years. Last year there was a calling where I felt that I should be taking these sounds to as many people as possible. So I started doing sound bath sessions at different yoga studios, fitness centers, wellness studios like Idhya, and I tried to reach out to as many people as possible because I feel the stress level nowadays, especially post COVID, is so high. Okay, everyone requires something to calm down, settle down. So sounds I felt is one of the best medium to do that. At the beginning of this year I felt ki okay, now is the time that I should be doing it for kids. So there is no inspiration as such, but
It
there's just a
just,
thought, okay, a strong feeling ki yes, this needs to be done. So if you give me 10 kids and tell play with them, I will play with them. You give me a bat ball, okay, I can play for 5 hours also with them, okay, that's okay, but teaching is a different thing.
yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of the year when this idea came, I shared it with few people, like including you, but it was not getting actions. नहीं हो रहा था उसमें. It was because of my own resistance probably, or my own beliefs that I'm not good with the kids. And then recently, then I took that step. Okay, let's introduce the first.
Officially, I should say that now I'm good with kids.
Yeah. So we did the first session of parents kids. So yes, so that's how it went. So it is just a calling. So I always believe intuition works very well.
Yes, 100%.
And if there is more than the intuition, I would say ki there is someone planning your life and you just try to follow it. In fact, the sound came into my life also because of like that only.
We would like to know that. That was my next question, that how did sound come in your life?
So as I said, ki, I've been teaching yoga for about 20 odd years. So I have been taking personal sessions, corporate sessions into Hatha yoga. So I'm more into therapy based yoga. About 9 years back, I had no idea there is something which is known as sound healing या फिर नाद योगा. ऐसा कुछ idea भी नहीं था. There is ऐसा कुछ Tibetan bowls रहता है, मालूम भी नहीं था. Nothing. One fine day I was teaching yoga to one of my client and she had been to Nepal or Bhutan and she had got this one bowl and she showed me this is what I've got from there, and I didn't even knew what it is called, how it has to be played. So there was this bowl and there was this stick, which now I remember, now I know that it is called rimmer. And I was just playing literally playing.
Like a kid.
Like a kid. And after striking that bowl for a couple of times, something happened in me. And I said, ki, I want to know more about it. Like there was a sudden stillness and calmness. And I'm sure I was not even playing good with that. But still. And then that curiosity, ki, what it is, what is done with it. I searched on the internet and I found some teachers in Mumbai. And I went to them. And so within 1 week of not knowing what it is, I suddenly had become a sound healer. I mean, I did some certification workshop, and then I started giving these sessions to my clients, and the results were amazing. And that's how the whole journey of sound healing or Naad Yoga started with me. So, from not knowing about it a week back, suddenly knowing about it a little bit, and then started practicing it. And that's how the journey happened. And so I'm blessed with some good teachers who are experienced in this. And so
You have been, like you said, you have been 20 years of, yoga teacher. You have been a sound healer. I know you are a sports enthusiast. All of this together, how has changed you as a person? How has transformed you as a person? Has each played its own role, or would you say ki no, this came in my life at this particular time and changed me? Was it like this, or was it the effect of everything?
your life is planned somewhere, and so I feel everything came into my life for some purpose. Okay, I love playing sports, and so I feel though I'm a yoga teacher and the sound, for me, de-stressing happens with sports.
People de-stress with the sound and you de-stress with the sport, but yes.
Like every time I go and play cricket or table tennis, I feel I'm 10 years younger. Okay,
Yes.
and that's why even to my clients I say this कि okay, आप योगा कर रहे हो, आप ये कर रहे हो, ठीक है, but if you have played sports as a kid, please go back to that. Nothing else. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being in profession of yoga, and still I'm saying nothing else can give you that relaxation, that joy,
Joy is the most.
than being in sports. It might be once a week, once in 15 days, once in a month. Just go back to that sport. You will literally feel younger. You
Your whole
don't know
energy
what.
changes.
So sports is very special in my life. Yoga came to my in my life at a very early age. My mother is a yoga teacher,
Oh.
and but as a kid, you know that we are like rebels, and I did not
You don't want
believe.
to do this.
I don't want to do it. So I was not so keen in doing yoga. But I used to get this throat infection very often. And that's where my mother had introduced me to some simple practices which were supposed to be done immediately after brushing the teeth, and which will not even take 2 minutes of my life. And that was my first introduction to yoga. And then I started so उससे तो benefit मिला ही. Then I started asking more things to her and all, and then I don't know how life turned, and one fine day I became a yoga teacher. So that's how it happens.
So basically, what you did with your son Om, introduced him to the bowl. That's how your mother had introduced you to yoga. Just try it out,
Yes.
and that, so which comes back to the whole thing that, oh, one person in the house is aware or in that conscious state, and the whole house changes, and you have proved that to the second generation also.
Yeah, I've never thought of this like that. Yes.
Like, how we say ki generational, everyone keeps now talk about, oh, ye generational trauma ho raha hai, but there is a good generational belief also that gets passed on, and this, as a third person, I can see, oh, that simple way of introducing has happened,
Yes,
and it has continued so beautifully.
Yeah. I never thought of it like this. Good.
How would you explain what meditation means? Just as a question, like, what does, if you have to explain it to the person who says, "Oh, I can't meditate,"
So
because
normally
for the
what
explaining the kids what is meditation, I'm sure you must have had your own challenges to explain them.
Yes, so not just kids. I would also say कि as an adult, when I say meditation, most of us will imagine a person sitting, Padmasan में or ऐसा,
Yeah, we directly go visualize Buddha.
Yeah. So the simple thing is meditation is basically getting one with something. Okay. Now it's easier for us to get one with something which we like. For example, if someone likes dancing, okay, you can be in a meditative state while dancing. Okay. So when you're in a meditative state, what happens is you lose your physical consciousness, you lose the time consciousness. So as a kid, if someone is good in the sense, not good, but likes drawing, for example. So the kids keep on drawing for hours together. So he or she loses the physical consciousness, भूख नहीं लग रहा है तब,
Absolutely.
time consciousness, 1.5-2 घंटा चला गया है, nothing.
Yes.
So if you identify that one thing, that's why I'm saying ki, if as a kid you have been into sports and you have loved that,
Yeah.
that's very easy for you to be in that meditative state. That's why you feel that joy and energy after that
Correct.
sport or that 1 hour of play. Okay, so try to find out what is that for you. For someone it might be cooking, for someone it might be dancing, for someone it might be coloring, drawing, for someone it might be anything. Okay, that one thing which helps you to detach from the world. You are just one with that activity. then that's meditation for you. Okay, it happens sometimes with us, like we are doing something and suddenly we realize, "Arey, it's 2 hours past." That means what? You are just one with that activity.
Yes.
Okay, so once you identify that, try doing that. It need not be like meditation करना है मतलब हाँ चलो yoga class पे जाके meditation करना है. No, it's never like that. But if you're not able to find anything else, then there is
At
this
least,
option.
yes.
Sounds are there, yoga is there, you can do pranayams, you can do. But I never believe कि meditation मतलब you have to do कि sit. In meditations also there are so many active meditations.
Absolutely.
Okay, there is so much active breath work can be used as meditation. So never have a picture कि meditation मतलब sitting in cross leg and just focusing on the breath, and of course that is also meditation. Okay, and some people like it. I feel meditation can be anything which you like, where you lose all the world and you are just with yourself and with that activity. That is meditation for me.
This is so beautifully explained, and I think today, when we started with this concept, the conversation about parents and child, it's so important for the parent also to understand that, oh, I can also meditate, and I can allow, to go beyond a norm that, oh, meditation has to be done in a particular way. You can let the child meditate in whatever format that they want, whatever is, there to you, and coming back to it if they also have this.
Yes.
So that's well so said, like just finding that oneness that could be with anything.
Yes. And when you are in oneness with something, you are also influencing a lot of other people through that.
What is that one thing you would like to address to the parents for the well-being of a child?
You are doing at least 10% of that, the kid will start doing 1% of that. Okay, so if you want the kid to exercise, you start exercising say twice a week or thrice a week, so maybe once a week the kids start exercising. Or knows ki, see, whatever we are doing in future, the kid is going to try to follow few of those things. Of course the kid will have his own choices also, but majority of the part is that.
Yes, just instead of teaching them, just follow it yourself and let the child see it.
Yes.
Because yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
So has a sound changed you as a person?
Yes, definitely sound has changed me as a person.
Like has got you more closer to your own self?
So I had a basic level of grounding, I would say, because of my practice of yoga.
Yes.
And so basic level of calmness, everything was there. So what sound made changes in me was when sounds came into my life. First I accepted it, okay, okay, these are few things which are there, and then later on that fear and all changed. Okay, and yeah, that's one thing. Later on in life, recently about 2-3 years back, I had a few accidents where I injured my knee, shoulder, and from being a very healthy person throughout my life, active person playing sports,
Yes.
to being dependent on someone, to I was not even able to lift a kg of weight. So being dependent on everyone to carry my sound instruments and not able to sit down in cross leg position also. So their sound helped me a lot. Okay, which helped me in accepting the situation. Okay, okay, these are the things, and it will change. Okay, it's very difficult for a person who has been so much active and healthy to suddenly being dependent on
Yes, definitely.
someone. Okay, not even able to sit down like every
And
day.
being a yoga teacher, I'm like, I'm not able to sit
Yeah.
down.
So even my meal I have sitting down on the ground, and that also I was not able to do it. So
It has helped you in so many different ways. And I guess the whole thing that you are trying to say is acceptance. You will see yourself, like in your case, you saw that acceptance across, and that's how people, when you get into something, you will see the changes. Not only you, ऐसे नहीं होता है कि okay, my knee is hurting, so knee stops, but along with the knee stop there is a change that happens across, and that also we need to recognize.
yes.
So lovely. Thank you so much, Devidatta. Thank you for sharing this beautiful way of introducing sounds, meditation for household. I started the interview with saying that let's do it for the kids, but I would rather now say ki let's get it to the every household, because one person changes and there is a change across. And I hope you reach to the maximum household and you really get that bowl or a sound to each household. So all the best for that, and thank you for sharing all from your heart to us. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to share one thing. I have read this line somewhere. I don't know where it is written, but in this line which called Pindi Pindi Brahmande. What it says is ki whatever is happening around the world, okay, is happening in you. And when you change, okay, the world changes. So the concept of bringing sounds in a small family is slowly trying to influence the world.
And I want to say thank you on behalf of all those who has already got introduced to this, and there are a lot more who are going to get beneficial. Thank you for making that change within you so that we all are experiencing it today. So thank you so much, and all the best in this beautiful endeavor that you are in of getting sound to the every household.
Thank you. And
Thank
I
you.
will be very grateful for the space that you have created for people like us to do such sessions and reach out to people and reach out to different, like now the kids. So it's always.
It's our pleasure. I genuinely feel, like you said, the change has to happen from within. I think things align. We all are together in it, in every way and every medium that's possible. So, yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.